Hi, my name is Rupa Nagarajan and I work for Cherry Road Services India, and this is my DocuSign CLM implementation consultant Capstone project. I'm going to give a small brief note on the guidelines for this project where I'll be creating a workflow using a standard template, a contract that generates and will be sent for the legal to review, where the legal has a choice to negotiate the document and send it either for the vendor for their review or the internal user for the review, and then followed by e-signature. And in case if the document is rejected, and thus that's going to end the workflow. And also I'm going to talk about how a third-party contract is generated, which will be sent to the sales manager for approval before sending it to the legal. And again, the legal would be sending it for internal and external signatures. And upon completion of the signed documents, how it is going to be stored in the CLM. And also XYZ Corp, when a company can generate reports, and the reports based on the attribute fields for any contracts. So let's get started with the implementation. So this is my DocuSign CLM environment. Using the app switcher, I have selected CLM, and I've also logged into my Salesforce environment. This is a Salesforce home. I'm using the app launcher again and choosing the DocuSign app launcher. So within the DocuSign app launcher, I'm going to work on opportunities. So I choose my opportunities. And this is the opportunity that I'm going to work on, which is Burlington Textile. The opportunity has the related information and the details with all this information in here. So I'm going to show you to create a contract. So I'm going to click on the create contract button, which opens the document generation, and I have two templates here, the standard and third-party template. So I'm going to first generate a standard contract or a template. So this is the contract information, which has the effective date, which is today. It also has the customer's name, the street, city, state, country, and postal code below. So this information is captured from the Salesforce environment. We have a drop down to choose the department. So I'm going to choose legal as my department. And here we have the contact information, which has the name, title, and email. So contact information is for whom we are generating the contract and sending it for signature. And we have XYZ Corp, which is the company, which has the name, title, and email. And this is the detail of the person who's going to generate the contract. So it's going to be me, and all the fields are correctly generated with all the information here. So we're going to the next step. So previewing this document is going to capture all the information from the intake form and merging it onto the template. So we have the company name merged onto this template. We also have the address. This is the address. This is the postal code. And here we have the effective date, that is today. And we also have the other information captured on the template. And this is the signatory block, and this information is currently blank now. That is because after signature and successful contract is when these fields will be populated, which I'll be showing later on. So everything looks good. So I'm going to save this template. So this is going to kickstart the workflow, and I'm going to refresh this page on Salesforce. And when I click on details, it's going to tell me the status of the document or the process. So it's under legal review. So if I go back to my DocuSign environment and click on task, there's a task for legal review. And let me also show an email notification which will be sent for review. I go back to a DocuSign and legal review under tasks. I have a document for legal review. So when I open this review document, it gives me the information about the document, the name, and this file is editable, and when it was last modified, and the type and the way you can preview it, and attributes. And this is where you can quickly go through the important fields of a document. Some document may have hundreds of pages, which is difficult to go through, but using attributes, the important field that you want to give a quick glance is viewed from the attribute section here. So we have all the information captured over here. And the sign date is empty because we haven't sent the document for signature yet, and that will be populated later on. And we have the signatory name, title, email, and all the XYZ Corp's name, title, and email. And we have the task here, which allows the legal team to send it for an internal, external e-signature, or to cancel the workflow. And if you want to edit the document, you can download the file. After you have made any changes, you can go to edit and upload the new version. So the new document gets uploaded, and then followed by you can send it for review. So now I'm going to choose internal review, and I'm going to just say review it and complete. No changes to attributes. The document is now routed from the legal team. So I go back to Salesforce. When I refresh this page under Salesforce and I click on details, it was previously under legal review, and now it's routed to internal. So these information is again captured on the Salesforce side. And I go back to task. Let me refresh the task page. And we have a task for internal review. So I click on the internal review. And again, these informations are going to remain the same unless any changes are being made. You can quickly go through the attributes and my task. So I can assign this task either through the users listed, or I can use groups and assign it to a group, and anybody in that group can go ahead and review it. So let me choose users for now. I'm going to send it for internal review and apply. Just see if you need to make any changes. You can just go through the document and complete. So now it's been routed for internal reviewer to review. So I go back and review. It's going to show me that this task is being sent for internal review. So let me quickly go to my email. I have an update which says review. It's an internal review which is required. Let me quickly go back to my task. Since I assigned the internal review to me, I'm going to open the internal review and review it internally. So again, if any changes need to be made, you can download the file, make your changes, use the edit option to upload the edited version of this file. So as an internal review, I'm going to say it's done. I have reviewed this document and no changes is required. When I click complete, after the review is being done, it's been routed back to the legal to review what changes has been done by internal. Since internal hasn't made any changes, you can just go with external review and send it to complete. External review. So I go to my Gmail. Let me refresh this page. And I have my document for external review. So this is how it looks like. And if I scroll down, I have the document that I can review. Let me click on the review option. And this is the document that is being routed by the legal to external review. I can just go through the document. Okay, I need to make some changes. I can just go ahead, download this file. Let me open this. Let me bring this up. Okay, so I'm gonna just say, maybe let me just enable editing, and let me make a small change here. I'm just gonna say edited, just highlight it in red, and I'm just gonna save this file. Let me save this file back to standard template. I want to store this on my PC, Word document, and just save it. And I go to the next step. This is where I can upload the document that I have edited. So I'm going to click open and click next. And the document gets uploaded here. I have edited, and then I click finish and complete. So after the external review is being completed, it's again routed back to the legal so they can review. So I go ahead and refresh the status. It's now going to give me the information that it's been sent from external review. So I go back to my task. I have a document for legal review. And this time I'm going to send it for e-signature. So I'm going to just say, just e-sign it. I'm going to say completed. Since the document is edited, you're seeing this change. And I'm going to click complete.
Task for now. So let me go back to my Gmail. Let me refresh. And I have an email which is requesting for signature. It's asking me to review the document. So I'm going to review. I have this message in here. And then I have option to continue. If I click on other actions, I can either finish later, print and sign, or assign it to someone else or in behalf of me, and also have option to decline to sign. And you can reach support or about DocuSign and history in here. So let me click continue and then click start. Then it prompts me to sign. So I click on sign. I can choose my existing signature here. So all this information looks good. So click finish. No thanks. So the signature is completed. So now I'll have an email which is requesting me for signature again. So review it. We have the message here. And again, other actions allows to finish later, print or sign, sign on behalf, also to void or correct. So I'm going to click on continue now and then click start. So you can see this has already been signed and now I'm going to sign it here. So all information looks good. So click finish. Thanks. As soon as the signature part is completed, the document would be stored. So let me go to documents on the CLM side and I go to other sources. I have Salesforce. This is the path where the file is stored. Since I'm working on Burlington Textiles, this is my opportunity. So I click on my opportunity and this is the opportunity. So all the signed documents is stored here. So this is the document which is completed the signature and hence it is stored here. So I'm going to show you the signed document. So you again have option to export this document and send. And when I scroll down, it has now captured the signatory field with the signed date, the title, name, and the signature. So now on the info tab, it has these information when it was last modified. And now when I click attributes, and let me scroll down and show you that it has captured the effective date, the customer's name, the address, and now we can see that the sign date is being captured. So previously it was empty. Now we have the sign date captured, as well as the signature field has now been captured. So let me go back to my CLM. I go to admin. Let me click on workflows. So when I scroll down, let me hit refresh. My workflow is now completed. So previously it was executing. My workflow has now been completed after this. This page on Salesforce. And I now click on details, and if I just scroll down, it tells me the signature is completed and hence it's signed. And if I go back to my CLM workflow, I click on the activities, the status is completed. So I've shown you how to generate a standard template and go through that. So now we go back to Salesforce, and I'm going to create a contract this time using a third-party template. So I'm going to choose third-party upload. And the informations are pretty much the same. It has the contract information, the effective date, which is today. Now scroll down, it has the customer's name, the street, city, state, country, and the postal code, which is again fetched from the Salesforce environment. And we have department, the drop down to choose. I'm going to click on legal. We also have contact information, which has the name, title, and the email address. We also have the XYZ Corp with the name, title, and email. So the third-party template has an option where you can attach a file. So you can click on this option here. And let me choose a file. I'm going to choose my third-party contract. And as soon as I click open, it attaches my document here, which I can then save. So the document is successfully uploaded, and this kickstarts the workflow. So I'm going to hit refresh here. And Salesforce is going to tell me where the stage of the document is. So since this is a third-party template, the step is first it goes to the sales manager for approval. So it's at the sales approval stage. So if I go back to my CLM, let me scroll up to my task. And I have a task which is assigned to sales. So I click on sales. This is the task. So I click on my task. And meanwhile, I also have received an email notification saying there's a task for review for sales. Go back to DocuSign, and this is the document that I have attached. So you can go through the documents. If necessary, you can again download the file. For making any changes, you can upload the new version. You also have option to send it for signature. You have option to send it for external review, and a couple of other options. And the more also helps to check in and check out document, which simply means to upload the new version. And history talks about the various steps of the document that has been taken place. And this document also has the information tag, which has the name of the document. It's an editable file. It has the information of when it was last modified and the type of the file and the way you can preview it. And attributes again gives you the information that you can go through quickly with the attributes that we have configured in the workflow. We have all this information. So just go to the task and I'm going to approve the task and say it is done. So I'm going to click complete. And once the task is routed from the sales, it then goes to the legal. So let me refresh my task. And we have a task for legal. So the legal now can make a choice on the step that the legal wants to perform just from the drop down after the sales has reviewed. So the legal will cancel the workflow for this time. And I'm going to say it's canceled and complete. And no more task. So I go to admin and workflows. Gives me the list of my recent workflow. And the workflow was cancelled. So the status of the workflow is completed. So let me show you the configuration of the workflow that I have designed. This is my workflow configuration. So these are the various stages highlighted in different colors. Let me zoom in a bit and show you the steps of the workflow. So any workflow, we first start and the next series of steps. So the first step here is I'm initializing the variables in this step, such as capturing the customer's name, the effective date, the address, which consists of the city, country, the state, street, postal code, the department that I'm using, the contact email, the signatory's name, the title, and again the XYZ Corp, which again consists of their email, name, and the title. So these are the information that I'm capturing, and Salesforce is going to give me all this information that I've mapped under the variables here. So next step here, we're updating information. So we're capturing the customer's information so it can reflect on the workflow. And the next step is where we are storing these values in form of param, in the form of a document. So we're storing these variables that is captured from the intake form in the form of a document, which will then be used on the next step where we have created attributes such as the customer's name, the email, the signatory name and title. So these are the values that are captured for the attributes, and this information is stored, which allows us to view the attributes in the document. And on the next step, we are using a CSV file, and in this file, we are storing this information, which is the department and the approval. And then we are updating the form with the path from where this form has to be fetched from. So this is the path, the form that is required for the workflow. And on the last step here, we are updating some more variables which is used in the workflow. This consists of the subject and the body for the email. So we are using variables and storing this information in the form of variables. And once this is done, we move to the next stage where I have created a rule which tells me the type of template that is used, whether it's a standard template or a third-party template. So if I'm using a standard template, it goes through this path, which is true. And if it's false, it means a third-party template is used and it goes through this path. So over here, we are updating the document keyword that it's in the stage of sales approval. And the same information is updated on Salesforce. So this is how we are updating the status of the steps or the document in Salesforce. And then once if sales approves it, this is the step. Once it approves, again, Salesforce get updated. If it's rejected, it's gonna end the workflow. So this is our stage where it goes to the sales approval. We have this option next, which goes to the legal approval. That is, the sales approves the document. It goes to the legal for review. Salesforce gets updated with the value that it's in the legal stage. And then we have this choice step where it determines this document is being routed either for external review or internal review, or you're sending it for e-signature, or you're going to cancel the workflow. The choice step determines all these options in here. So we have assigned a task group. So based on what kind of task and where it is routed to, we have a group assigned in here. So if it's going for external review, this is a stage for external review. The document is being updated for external review. The stage is updated on Salesforce, and the external review step gives us the information. We have the subject and the body, which is being updated on this section. And we have the two sections here, which is completed with document and without document. And this is again routed back from the external back to legal. And we also have these values in here. So in case it was sent for internal review, it updates the document keyword. We have internal review, and it's updating the Salesforce stage. And then the internal reviewer can choose which user can or could be assigned for reviewing the task. And if any document is edited, all the information that is stored here after the internal review is completed, it goes back to the stage for legal to make the next decision. And if I scroll down below, this is a stage for e-signature. If legal decides to send it for e-signature, it goes through this path. It updates the keyword that it's going to be in the e-signature state. It updates the Salesforce environment on which stage it is, and it goes to the signature path. And based on the response, we have all these options configured here to update the document after the legal review is being routed back. And lastly, after the e-signature is being completed, the value is also updated as signed. And we have the values variables created here, which is going to capture the signed date. And we are going to update the metadata here, that is the attribute which is going to display us the signed date on viewing a document. And Salesforce is also being updated as signature is being completed. So once this step is done, it again completes the workflow. We end the workflow with finish. So that's about the CLM workflow that I have designed, which has these various stages. And back to DocuSign CLM. This is the admin page, and we have workflow. So the activity gives us information on the status of execution of a workflow, whether it's in progress, execution, or completed or failed. We see this information under activity, and configuration is going to tell me the workflow that I have designed. And I go to dashboards. The dashboard is where you can quickly access any information. You can add more widgets. You can click on add widgets. And we have these widgets in here. We have 6 widgets. So you can want to view whether it's folders or watch list, or your watch list. If you want to go through recent documents, you can also see reports and the work-in files. So you just need to drag and drop this information. You can put them on the way you like. I'm just going to name a test and just save it, and you'll be able to view all these. So the next one is task. If where I have shown how each task is assigned to respective groups in here, where they can accept or reject any workflows. And next we have reporting. This is going to give a list of reports that has already been created. So we can either create new report or choose from the existing report. So when you create new report, you have types. You can create a document report. You can create a document activity report, workflow report. You also have other reports, which is user reports. So I'm going to show with the existing report that I have created. So I'm going to first show the CLM workflow report that I have created. So click on that. So this report is going to show me the list of workflows that has been executed. It's going to tell me the current stage of the reports. It's going to tell me the status, the duration. So this is the average time for completion. This report is going to give me all that information, when it started and the duration it took for completion, the workflow name. So I'm going to just refresh this report. And here we have reports which is executing, internal edits, and all the different here. And I have option to export the report through a CSV file or XML file. You have options to edit the report. You can also create a copy. If you don't want a report, you can always delete the report. And I go back to reports. And let me show you the attribute report that I have created. This is going to capture the information, that is the document name, the document ID, and the description. So the status of where the information is stored, where the status is. It's under sales, approval, legal, the departments that I choose while using the form submission. This is going to give me the details. So if I hit on refresh, it's going to run the attribute report with the latest information. These are the reports. So it gives me all this information on my reports. And contact, you can store all your contact information in here. You can create new contact or a mailing list, and you have options to import your contact. And most frequently we use the admin page, which has all these options. This is the document generation, where it allows us to add a configuration. These are the existing configuration that I've created. We have forms where you can create your templates. You can click on create form, which allows you to create a form. You can add different fields in there. You have form libraries. You have the setting option, which is here, which talks about the merge tags. Then we have what is called e-forms. The e-forms, where you can set email notification. You can create a new form using the create button. You can choose your existing e-form. You can edit it. You have option to allow submission. You can set a submit folder. So when you choose respective option, that shows up here. And then moving on, we have documents and folders, where I have attributes. So I have created attributes for the workflow. So this is the attributes that I've created, which has these effective date, the customer's name, the address, the department, the sign date. We have a subset, which is capturing the contact information, and XYZ Corp. So this is the attribute that I'm using in the workflow. So let me go back. And then moving on, we have users. You have your users and the permission that you have given to your users. You have option to choose the filter from here. And then we have groups. The groups that's created on the e-signature, you can add users to the groups in here. And then we have account settings, which gives us information on how you can change the language that you want to set as default. It has regional setting, which has the language and the time zone. And you have some more details related to your account, the kind of document permission profile you want to give for the account users, and all related information with account settings can be viewed and changed from here. Okay, so that's about accounts. And talking about deployment is something which makes it easier, where you have your setup done on a UAT environment and you create a package and you deploy it easily on a production environment. So when you click on deployment, it allows you to name your deployment. So that's new package, you can rename it. And if you scroll down below, you have a lot of other options, which is auto install package. That is, when you check this box, it automatically installs the package on the production environment. And this checkbox is going to override any existing object. So if you have an object on your production with a similar name, it's going to override it, and it's going to include the account settings. So previously I showed you some account settings. Any changes that you make on the account setting and you include it here will apply on the production as well. If you have any branding, a certain color format for the signature, you can include your branding preference from here. And if you have any custom navigation or tabs or menus and toolbars that you have configured in here, you can check these boxes. So I'm not going to use any of these options for now. And down below, we have various tabs in here. The first one is folder. It is the location where you want to store the package. So normally we choose admin. That's where you can have your package store. So I choose the folder as admin, and it has attributes group. So I showed you the attributes that was configured. This is the attribute that I'm going to use, the Capstone attribute. So I select Capstone, and groups. So the groups that's been created can all be selected that you want to be included, and the forms. So we have all the forms that's been necessary. This is the form that I'm going to use, and there's no smart rule. And the reports that I would like to use is the attribute report and the workflow report. And workflow, this is the workflow that I'm working on for this project. So that's my workflow. And task groups is the groups that you would like to have it on production as well. You choose the groups. And any reminder templates, we don't have any reminder templates. And let's go to document generation form. This is the form that I'm using for the configuration and any delegated permission. If such, you can use it. So as soon as you click save, this is the location that you're going to export this package. So if you want to change it, you can always change your storage location where you want the package to be saved. So I click save. So it's going to notify me via email as soon as the package is ready. Let me go to my email, and yes, this is how the email notification looks like once the package is ready. So if I click on view package, it's going to take me to the place where this package is being stored. I go back to DocuSign, documents, and if I go to admin, and I go to users, all access, and this is the package that has been stored. So this is the package that you can download, you can check in or check out. It also has the history. You can always cut, copy, or delete this package. So this is how it is used to deploy it on a production environment. So now let me use the app switcher and let's go to the admin side. So this is the admin page where you can add your users, manage your users. You can use the add user button to add users manually. And your account users listing users that are on the account that we have added. For testing purpose, we have 2 users. And next we have groups on the left, which allows me to create groups. So I have created a few groups here, IT, HR, and legal. You can add a group and name your group. And in here, you have options to edit the group and add users onto respective groups. And we have admins, which is me. And